I'm Riley Kane, 31, woodcarver, keeper of Grandpa Walt's hand-hewn chisels in Bozeman. My loft reeked of linseed and eviction notices. My folks' feed overflowed with Patagonia Vista's captioned legacy. Their DMs always closed with, "Master Money, Riley. Grown-ups compound." I left them on read. The only grown-up who never measured me was Grandpa Walt, retired forester, callous truth, quiet thunder. At 24 he'd vowed, "One day you'll have timber that answers only to you." I chalked it up to campfire poetry.
Like, subscribe.
Bell on. More stories. More power. Every week. Then, December 10th, his voice crackled with conspiracy. "Big present this year, Sprout." I snorted. "Walt, a new blade sharpener is plenty." He rumbled. "Already milled." I shrugged it off, until an alert flashed. Closing confirmed. Black pine retreat. My ribs locked. Black pine. The ridge Grandpa paced with me at 16. Sunrise gilding every trunk. I rang Mom. "Breezy. Grandpa ever snag acreage up Black Pine Way?" Pause, then syrup. Bubble burst, sweetie. "Dead deal." Dial tone. Midnight. I reverse-engineered the alert to a whitefish title company. Next on, posing as a surveyor, the clerk verified. Acquired 5 years prior. Bested Riley Kane. Flipped 20 months later by Margaret and Douglas Kane, my parents. Fingers ice. IRS VP'd to Christmas at their glass and timber palace. They assumed thaw. I packed proof. December 22nd, I slid into Grandpa's cedar-paneled den. His aide Mara flinched. "He brags you're already felling your first chord." She produced a dossier. Pristine grant deed in my name, paper-clipped to a quitclaim scrawled with Dad's impatient slash. Snowlash the windows like accusations.
I briefed Grandpa's counsel, Nora Halle.
"Shield his pulse first," I said. She arched a brow, then dropped the anvil. Christmas night, the Kane Lodge glowed, aurora projectors, 20-foot blue spruce, string quartet, sawing Vivaldi. I wore my paint-splattered flannel. Mom's gaze iced.
Dad.
Sliced elk tenderloin while investors toasted, generational vision. I counted heartbeats. Grandpa raised his glass, eyes twinkling. "To roots." Mom's diamonds flashed agreement. I caught her micro-glance, too polished. He leaned in, voice warm cedar. "So, how's the cabin treating you, Riley?" The quartet squeaked to silence. Silverware hovered. I swallowed. "Which cabin?" Mom's flute slipped. Cabernet bled across Irish linen like a confession. Dad's jaw calcified. Grandpa's gaze sharpened to a hatchet. "Title," he growled.
"Here. Now."
Dad stammered. "Walt, bad timing." "Perfect timing." Grandpa cut, lethal soft. I deeded Black Pine to Riley. "You are trustees." Mara materialized, envelope in hand. Grandpa didn't glance inside before dialing. Nora Hale strode in, briefcase like a rifle. "Mr. Kane, per your request last week, transaction audit." She fanned documents across the elk platter. Page 1, grant deed, Riley Kane notarized. Page 2, sale, Margaret and Douglas Kane, proceeds wired to a Cayman's LLC. Page 3, forged power of attorney, my signature a crude mimic. Grandpa's hand trembled, not age, fury. "You auctioned her future." Mom's voice splintered. "We invested it for her." "Into your third vacation chalet?" I finished. The room exhaled frost. An uncle coughed. A cousin filmed discreetly. Grandpa stood, chair legs screeching like banshees. "Effective tonight, you're off every trust, every board, every dime I steward." Dad surged. "We're blood." "Blood doesn't forge deeds," Grandpa thundered. He fished a brass key from his vest. Old-growth patina, hand-cut wards.
"Place it before me."
"Black Pine's yours." Always was. Mom reached, mascara rivers. "Riley, you meant control," I said, key biting my palm. "I just reclaimed it." Nora stacked papers. "Restitution filings begin tomorrow. Full provenance, treble damages." Dad's glass shattered in his grip. Mom folded like cheap veneer. The quartet packed. Up mid-note. Guests ghosted into the snow, whispers trailing like smoke. I stepped onto the deck. Blizzard swallowed the valley. Only the key burned warm. Behind me, Grandpa's silhouette framed the doorway, unbowed. Inside, my parents sat marooned amid glittering wreckage, excuses curdling. Next sunrise, their Range Rover tracks were the only scar on fresh powder. No note. Grandpa met me in the kitchen, coffee steaming. Trusted the wrong architects, he rasped. Slid an envelope across pine planks. New deed, black pine, unencumbered, plus a cashier's check labeled seed money. I traced the ridges. Grandpa, I build something honest, he said. That's the only inheritance worth a damn. Word rippled through Montana's moneyed canyons. Kane trusts restructured. Margaret and Douglas quietly erased from donor walls. I didn't gloat. I felled my first tree on black pine in February, straight, strong mine. Clara visited in spring, boots crunching needles. Thought revenge would taste sweeter. I handed her a splintered branch. Feels like oxygen. By summer, the cabin rose. Logs I notched myself. Windows framing the ridge Grandpa once sketched on a diner napkin. I hung his chisels above the hearth. Every strike echoes. Roots aren't given, they're claimed. Justice doesn't roar. It grows rings you can count for centuries. Comment your I felled my truth moment. Like, if timber, titles. Subscribe. Your forest is non-negotiable. ***.